In the year 2050, humans had achieved the impossible. Technology had advanced beyond all imagination. They had cracked the secret of the universe and developed a chip that could control the entire body and mind of a person. It all began with the idea to make life easier. What started as a means to manipulate simple actions soon became an all-encompassing way of existence. The ruling elite, who held all power, thrust the chip upon every newborn child. They called it the smart chip, and according to them, it was for their safety and well-being. But very soon, the world changed. Humans were no longer individuals. They were now as programmed as robots. The chip controlled every part of their lives, from when they woke up to what they ate and how they felt. It could even alter memories and thoughts, making people believe anything the ruling elite wanted them to. Those who dared to speak out against the system were severely punished. They were forcefully disconnected from the chip, and their lives became a living hell. They lost all their memories, contacts, and emotions. They were non-persons, left to rot on the streets like animals. Very soon, the ruling elite grew greedier and more powerful, abusing their power to indulge in every imaginable vice. They were corrupt and feared by all. But little did they know that somewhere deep within their perfect world, a group of rebels were plotting to overthrow them. Sam, the leader of the rebel group, had been one of the first to be implanted with the smart chip. He had seen the changes it brought to his life and vowed to fight against it. Along with his team of rebels, he trained himself in the art of hacking and using technology to their advantage. Their initial strategy was to fly under the radar and gather as much information as possible. They formed alliances with insiders from the system, people who worked for the elite but were secretly against them. Through patient planning and bold moves, they gained access to crucial data that would be the key to their success. They knew that they needed to act fast. For years they had watched their friends and family members succumb to the system. They couldn't bear to watch it any longer. It was time for them to make their move. In the dead of night, the rebels gathered on the outskirts of the city. They had everything they needed, from their weapons to their hacking tools. They were ready. They knew that the risk was high, but they were all willing to give up everything to be free. Sam looked around at his team, his family. He knew that they were risking everything, but he also knew that they could succeed. They had to succeed. And with that determination, they moved forward. The first obstacle was the giant dome that protected the city. The rebels had a mole on the inside, and they knew that he could open a door for them. With bated breath, they waited as the mole did his work, and soon they were inside. It was an utterly surreal scene. The city was abuzz with people who were going about their days programmed and devoid of any real emotion. The rebels moved quickly, taking down the cameras and other security measures that could alert the system. The ruling elite soon learned of the breach and sent their army of programmed soldiers to quell the rebellion. But the rebels were ready. They had planned for every scenario, every move the elite could make. There was chaos everywhere. The streets were littered with bodies as the rebels and the programmed soldiers waged war against each other. The battle was raging when Sam and his team entered the central hub, where the ruling elite made all their decisions. The members of the ruling elite were shocked to see rebels in their midst. They had thought that the smart chip had ensured their safety. But now, as they saw a human with real emotions and thoughts, they were horrified at what they'd done. Sam addressed the elite group, telling them that it was time for them to face the consequences of their actions. They had robbed the people of their free will and made them into slaves. But it was time for that to end. The battle lasted for hours, and the rebels were outnumbered, but they fought with the courage of lions. They had nothing to lose and everything to gain. In the end, the rebels emerged victorious. The ruling elite was left disarmed and cowering, and they had no choice but to surrender to the rebels' will. They knew that their time was up, and they had reaped what they'd sown. From that day forward, the smart chip became a thing of the past. Humans were free to think, feel, and exist on their own terms. The rebels had won, and the world would never be the same again. They were hailed as heroes, and their cause inspired others to rise up against the oppressive regime that had ruled over them for far too long. The world had changed, and finally, humans were free to be human once more. The lessons learned from the rebellion would never be forgotten. For in a world where technology had threatened to overpower humanity, a small group of rebels had shown that the human spirit could never truly be broken.